Hi, this is the Black Mormon Reader, and I will be reading verses from the 39th chapter. From the 40th chapter of Alma. Alma is talking to his son, Corianton. Now, my son, here is somewhat more, I would say unto thee, for I perceive that thy mind is worried concerning the resurrection of the dead. Behold, I say unto you, that there is no resurrection until after the coming of Christ. He bringeth to pass the resurrection of the dead. But the resurrection is not yet. Now I unfold unto you a mystery. There are many mysteries which are kept, that no one knows them save God himself, which I have inquired diligently of God, that I might know concerning the resurrection. Behold, there is a time appointed that all shall come forth from the dead. Now when this time cometh, no one knows but God. Now whether there shall be one time, or a second time, or a third time, that men shall come forth from the dead, it matters not, for God knoweth all these things. And there is a time appointed that all shall rise from the dead. Now there must need be a space betwixt the time of the dead and the time of the resurrection. And now what becometh of the soul of men from this time of death to the time appointed for the resurrection? Whether there is more than one time appointed for men to arise, it matters not, for all do not die at once. All is as one day with God, and time is only measured by men. Therefore there is a time appointed unto men that they shall rise from the dead, and there is a space between the time of death and the resurrection. Now concerning the space of time, what becometh of the soul of men is the thing which I have inquired diligently of the Lord to know. The state of the soul between death and the resurrection. Behold, it has been made known unto me by an angel, that the spirits of men, as soon as they are departed from this mortal body, they are taken home to that God who gave them life. And the spirits of those who are righteous are received into a state of happiness, which is called paradise, a state of rest, a state of peace, where they shall rest from all their troubles and all their cares and sorrows. And the spirit of the wicked shall have no portion of the Spirit of God. They shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and wailing and a gnashing of teeth. And this is because of their own iniquity, being led captive by the will of the devil. Now this is the state of the souls. Thus they remain in this state until the time of their resurrection. Now there are some that have understood that this state of happiness and this state of misery before the resurrection was a first resurrection. Behold, it has been spoken that there is a first resurrection, a resurrection of those who have been, who are, or who shall be, down to the resurrection of Christ from the dead. Now we do not suppose that this first resurrection can be the resurrection of the soul and their consignation to happiness or misery. Behold, I say unto you, it meaneth the resurrection meaneth the uniting of the body with the soul of those from the days of Adam down to the resurrection of Christ. Now whether the souls and the bodies of those of whom have been spoken shall be all reunited at once, I do not say. I say their resurrection cometh to pass before the resurrection of those who die after the resurrection of Christ. Now, my son, I do not say that their resurrection cometh at the resurrection of Christ. The soul and the body are reunited to the righteous at the resurrection of Christ and his ascension into heaven. But whether it be his resurrection or after his resurrection, I do not say. But I say that there is a space between death and the resurrection of the body, and the state of the soul in happiness or in misery, until the time which is appointed of God, that the dead shall come forth and be reunited, both soul and body, and be brought to stand before God and be judged according to their works. Yea, this bringeth about the restoration of those things which have been spoken by the mouths of the prophets. The soul shall be restored to the body, and the body to the soul, and every limb and joint shall be restored to its body. Even a hair of the head shall not be lost, but all things shall be restored to their proper and perfect frame. And now, my son, this is the resurrection of which have been spoken by the mouths of the prophets. And then shall the righteous shine forth in the kingdom of God. But an awful death cometh upon the wicked, for they are unclean, and no unclean thing can inherit the kingdom of God. But they are cast out and consigned to partake of the fruit of their labors, which have been evil, and they drank the dregs of a bitter cup. And on that note, until we pick up Alma's continued message to his son, this is the Black Mormon Reader.